Now for the purpose of tonight, I'm taping this, so obviously you're all here, but I'll be sending this, getting Paul, and you can leave your details, I'll pass it around, and we'll be sending the link out so you can have this. It'll be on YouTube, so you can replay it if you want to get more value or more information out of it. And from tonight, like Paul said, I'm going around videotaping all the kids, boys, young men. They're batting for a start, and then this is just an introduction to show you the boys and the parents what we're trying to achieve for their long-term development at this club. We're trying to get them ready for seniors. So what we're trying to, I'll run through tonight. Please don't panic if you don't get it. I don't want to make it complicated, but I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to this stuff. I study it religiously. I watch all these videos. I've gone and studied a few other sports. I'll let you know through the stuff. Just to understand a bit more about this batting stuff. There's a bit of my background. I played here at this club. I'm from the bush. Came up here when I was 17. This club, luckily, I was lucky enough that this club got me a job up here, so I could come up and play cricket. And I suppose in those days, this was like, you know, getting paid. They gave me a job, so I could come up here, and Mum and Dad wouldn't have to pay for me staying up here. And where was I going? Yeah. So then I played here. I was lucky enough to get into the Warriors squad for 3 or 4 years. Never actually played a game, but enjoyed my time in there. And by 26, I was finished. I burned out. I'd had enough, so I retired from cricket. Had a little crack at it later. Blah blah blah. The rest is history. But I suppose the meaning of what I'm trying to say there is I'm not the greatest cricketer that ever lived. And because I had to work hard and coming from the country, doesn't really matter country or not, I didn't get it easy. Okay, I had to work it out, and probably me not making it at a higher level has spurred me on to try and understand what this stuff's all about. Why didn't I make it? Because I was pretty keen. I worked pretty hard, but it didn't happen. So what happened? So that's a bit of what we're going on about tonight. If I can get this to run through. So we're just, like I said, it's playing late and straight is the theme. And if you've been down to train, you've probably heard it a bit. We go on the side nets, play late. I sent out an email during the year for people on the list from last year, all about the Aussies over in England, how they didn't play late. You know, they kept pushing out and get caught. They were all out for 80, whatever they were. So the theme is working with Peter, the senior coach. We want to direct these fellas in their development years to play as late as they can. When I say late as they can rather than in front of the body, and as straight as we can. So just basic cricket talk. But what I'm going to go and run through tonight is there's a process that I've not unearthed, but it's not that easy to just play late. It's all right for us coaches to sit here and go, right, later, play later, wait, but it can't happen unless it's all in the preparation. So we'll run through that tonight. So where we're going to go for a starter, all these fellas here that have come through, 13s this year, they've all got this, okay? Otherwise you wouldn't be here. Sorry if you can't see that, but I'll move around it. We've got the foundation as young cricketers, so that's why you're here, okay? Probably better, not a better, but a sort of higher level foundation at this stage than other kids at your age group. So parents, that's done, okay? As best you can at this stage. And we don't have to worry about here, but as a development model, we now, for this age group and above, we want to get this as best we can so we can load up on top with intensity, okay? Intensity being faster bowlers, swing, bowling, you know, stuff like, and you'll be introduced to this in seniors, stuff like bowlers bowling to you off 16 yards. You probably say they already do that now, but that bowl, we've taken the stump right forward, so they're as quick as you'll get faced. But that's where the intensity comes from. But if the efficiency is not here, is not in their system now, and we don't coach them to be more efficient, or they don't teach themselves, we're going to have trouble later on at the senior level coping with increased intensity. Does that make sense? Well, it's a pretty basic model, and where this has come from for me, this is my job. So I coached the club here years ago. I was senior coach, and I was getting under 17s coming through from Paul, and labelled as this kid's going to be all right, he's going to be a good player. Getting in the nets against the seniors, and there were things that were inefficient. They were struggling at a higher level of intensity. So hence, over the years, the motivation has been to develop a sort of a process and a way of finding out what's more efficient for the kids, okay? And as Paul said, this is not going to happen once or twice a week. I'm sorry to say. My motivation again tonight is to get you blokes and hopefully the parents. You've turned up, so you're the I'm speaking to the converted here. When we do training, or when we have nets or throwdowns or play out in the backyard, we can focus on what we're talking about tonight in a manner that it becomes training in their play, if that makes sense. So we want to develop batters who play late straight. What I'm going to talk about tonight for the kids and the parents, we sit in the nets, I've heard it, they do it at the Wacker, they want kids to play, when they say late, they want, I'm a left-hander, so bear with me, they want kids, they want batsmen to hit the ball late, so it's close to their body. Does that make sense? Playing in front of the body or playing early is pushing the arms at the ball, straightening the arms, straight, turning around, all these different sort of idiosyncrasies that we do as batsmen, pushing at the ball. To play late means we're playing very close to our body. Head, all that sort of stuff that the boys are probably sick of hearing. Head over the ball, get your foot to the ball. But in an essence, it's playing late. And this is what we want to get into their cricket now and develop, so when they get to seniors, it's natural. Because the ball swings a bit more, and they're starting, as they batted tonight, they were swinging and hooping around, and I think little Davey got copped a couple in the thighs, and that's what we want to be able to control. So from the seniors down now at this club, we're trying to develop this. Now, my motivation tonight is not to teach you how to do it, we can give you some hints, but it's to get you thinking when you're at training here, when you're at home, when you're at your community clubs, I'm working on this, okay? We'll give you some stuff tonight that'll make you think about it. I've got a heap of questions. I've said I'll send this out. You can start thinking about it. You can talk to mum and dad. Dad, you can talk to mum. You can talk to the boys. We've got to think about what we're doing rather than just play cricket now. Because you're not the foundational stage anymore, you're at efficiency stage where we want to start. I'm not saying it has to be hard work, which Paul alluded to. It doesn't have to be hard work, it has to be fun. But we want to create more efficiency. So playing late and straight is our theme. In juniors, seniors, the whole club. We want this going through the whole club. Okay. What we're going to say tonight is what you're doing now isn't wrong. Mum and Dad, what they're doing now isn't wrong. So please don't go away tonight, and this is not my aim, you can't do that anymore, okay? That's wrong. Do it this way, or no, do it this way. I'm guilty of it. With my young bloke, he's gone home, luckily. He'll probably stand up and say, yes, you're the worst. But what we're doing now is great. It's perfect. Okay, we can't get any better as cricketers, okay? And parents, we can't get them any better. We can increase their efficiency so they can become able to handle higher loading later on, the higher temperature at a higher level. But they're already perfect, and we can only increase their efficiency. What they do now is what it is, and that is perfect. Increase the efficiency, and we get what we're going to get. I've got pushers and rotators, so forgive me here, I'm going to go geeky cricket talk, which is my cup of tea. But as a pusher, we're not playing late, okay? As a pusher, left-handed again from side on, I'm a pusher, okay? I might hit it here, but I'm still, see my arms and my hands, they're pushing, okay? I know it probably bores some of you, but I'm a pusher. Now, that won't allow me to play as late as I can, and more importantly, it won't allow me to make a decision to play or leave the ball or let it go or hit it there as late as possible. If I'm pushing, it means I've committed to making a stroke or playing a ball from 5 metres away. You know, as it's bouncing or just before it's bouncing, yep, I've picked up the length, I'm going. Because I've got to get from here to here in time. Because remember, I've only got 0.20, 0.10 of a second. Especially when we get older. We've got to get there quick. So we think. Okay, so I'm a pusher. Okay? Or I'm a rotator. And I've seen it so much in video, and this is where the good thing is you've all got YouTube stuff. 13s, you've got some coming. Okay, I've loaded it on. I'll send you out the links. A rotator is when we play, we can still push, but then I start turning. Okay, see? Can't get on the table. My back foot rotates. So I'm going there. Does that make sense? Anyone else, if you want it? I don't want to be a model, but my back foot goes there. So my body then goes from there to there. And see where my back's going? I'm trying to hit Noah's head. Or I'm a rotator. Will make sense? A lot of us do that, okay? So they're what we may be now, but it's not wrong. It's what you are. If we want to become more efficient as a player, over the years, this year, next year, year after, we don't want to be a pusher, we don't want to be a rotator. We want to be I call it an elite swinger, but that can have different connotations. So I don't let that one out. But elite hitter, whatever you want to do. But to me, it's all about swing mechanics, okay? Swing mechanics. So what happens from here to the point of impact is where we're about tonight, okay? So I'm going that route, okay? First of all, we've got to understand that this game of cricket, especially batting, is a movement pattern. So if we don't have an efficient movement pattern in our batting, we're inefficient, obviously. We're working too hard to get a desired outcome. Imagine we had to walk 2 kilometres, okay? Running's hard enough, isn't it? Walking, oh, how boring. Imagine if I had to walk 2 kilometres like that. Is that efficient? No. Okay. So that's a movement pattern in itself. We all do that quite easily. So we've got to incorporate an efficient movement pattern into our batting. Okay. How do we do that? That's where you ask questions, and I'll put some up at the end. But stuff like an efficient movement pattern for a batter is, well, I'll ask you, bloke. Is it more efficient for me, the ball's coming, to go there to go forward or to lean forward? Lean forward, of course. So one measure we've got is our hip and our shoulder. If I lean forward, is that distance between hip and shoulder increasing or decreasing? Smaller or bigger? Smaller. So there's an efficient movement pattern when I'm batting. If dads and mums, you see them batting out in the backyard or in the nets, don't have to yell it out so everyone hears it, but if they're going there, it's inefficient. Their weight's coming back, and remember we want them to play late and straight. If their weight's coming back and this distance is lengthening, are they going to have to push or rotate to get there? Of course they are. But if they're rolling forward, the momentum's coming forward, they're getting over the ball. Does that make sense? Over the ball, or getting to the ball more efficiently. So they've got time to get a higher back lift or whatever we'll talk about later, so they can come down and hit the ball closer to them. Okay, so you blokes have got to have a look at your video. From last year, you blokes had video too. Is this getting shorter or longer? Especially you under 13s now. Is your movement pattern efficient for batting? Mum and Dad can have a look at it too. Another one, counter rotations. We'll go into it. There's another slide. Oh, I'll move it on. But this is golf. Okay, I've never played golf. Played it twice, I think, and hopeless at it. But it amazes me the power they get from a whack. You know, a standing still whack. And this is where it comes from, and I'll relate it into cricket. Okay, all these marks obviously are joints. But see his hips there, they're square onto the ball, okay? But, so how's he going to get that ball 300, what's the average hit, 300, 200? One, you're probably 500.
I believe just over 300.
Yeah. So how's he getting all the power from a standing start? How's he getting the power through that ball? Anyone got any idea? His hips, yeah, because they're stable. So I'm sure they'll move as he's hitting it. But look at his upper body. So to get there, where's his upper body going? Rotating the other way. Now as a bowler, we don't want him to do that. But as a batter, there's no load here on the back. There's no stress. So they're what they call counter-rotating. Question for you fellas to think about, and mums and dads. Do your boys or daughters, if they play, do they counter-rotate when they're batting? Make sense? Or do you understand what I'm saying? Does your young, I'm left-handed again, does he bat or she bat, and when his back lift is coming in, does he get there? What do you reckon, fellas? Don't know? New one, isn't it? So this would think things are going to, I'll show you a slide coming up of one of the best batters I've ever seen in my time that is doing exactly that. So counter rotation, and any counter rotation is where we get our power from. So to go and hit powerfully that way, I've got to load up. Does that make sense? I've got to load up and unload to get power through, to get momentum. Because I'm not running. I'm not creating momentum, I'm standing still. An efficient movement pattern will give me forward movement, and a counter rotation will allow that forward movement and then the unload to give me lots of momentum through the ball. I know it's complicated, but at this level I feel we need, as parents and cricketers, we need to know, so we know what we're trying to achieve. Because I don't want to plonk you in the side net, or Paul or Jeremy down the 17th coach and Michael don't want to plonk you in the side net and say, hit late and straight, because that's what I've told them to say. But you don't know why, okay? Now you're lucky enough, or unlucky enough, but to be here and hear this, and hopefully you'll understand why. Because the more you rotate, the more you lean into the ball, the more momentum you're getting through the ball. As an example, if Xavier, you hop up for me, come here. You stand on that line, that's the line, okay? I'm going to start here, face the toilet, okay? No, face the toilet, front on. We're going to have a race to the toilet, okay? You can't start, I'm going to start on that line too. But you can't start till I touch the line, okay? Does that make sense? So when I touch the line, someone will yell out, go. Who do you think's going to get the toilet first? Yeah, why? I've got momentum. Make sense? You can sit down, we're not going to raise the toilet. But we want to create momentum. We want a mechanical advantage in our batting. I don't see this happening. Okay, this doesn't happen in our cricket. Because what do we do, or as batsmen these days, and parents, you see, a few of you might still play. What are we doing nowadays when we're getting ready to hit the ball? I'm probably a loaded question. I'll give you a choice. Are we down, waiting, or is most people there? There. Why? Who does that from the young fellas? Most of you, yeah. So most of you put your hand up because I've got you on video. Why do we do that? Adam, what do you do? No wrong or right. Is it to get ready?
Yeah, get ready.
Get ready. Most people I ask, what are you doing that for? Oh, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. And as soon as the ball comes, so what am I getting ready for? To shake my back. You know? What am I trying to do there? If I'm doing that, what am I doing? What we just tried to do. What are we doing? Creating momentum. Okay, see what we're trying to do. Left-handed, probably do it better. Blokes, it was happening when I was playing, and it was the bowling machine had a lot to do with it. Wait. And they think they're ready, and they're just going to play, but they need to get momentum because they want to smash the ball. So then they go, push. Okay? What are you up for? I'm ready. Okay, or somewhere up there, Chris Broad. Remember Chris Broad, English opener? Get ready for the quickies. Bang, you know, it's kind of counterproductive. What I suggest, remember, you blokes remember this? You ever seen it? Lara. If we go traditional coaching mentality, and I'm not saying it's wrong either, I'm not going to dare if I call someone wrong. Brian Lara's hands were away from his body. Look at his back elbow. His back elbow's up here. If you go and watch YouTube and you watch Brian Lara, the quality is shocking. You know, it's very bad unless your computer's real high. I don't know what these things are, but if I'm from there, this is Brian Lara. He's there. Can you see his elbow? Yeah. See his elbow above. His back's waving around here. Traditionally, that's no good. You've got to be ready, and you've got to be straight, and you've got to be ready to play straight. Hands in tight. I've been guilty of saying this all, years and years. And that's what I was taught. Hands in straight, shoulder in, get ready. Here's him. Bang, off he goes. What's he doing up here? I tried to get on here to the toilet. Getting momentum. Okay? Baseballers. They don't move. They hit the ball out of the park. Whew. See what they're doing? We don't want to swing like that. They're gaining momentum. Can I get momentum here? Zane, I'm not picking on you, but you're an example because you got belted tonight, fella. He's in the net, and it was zinging, and I was taping him, and he's going, oh, ah! So we're going to have good viewing of you on YouTube. But as it zinged and zung and popped, your back lift was not going anywhere. Because I'm getting ready, aren't you? You were getting ready. But he's playing, he's going like that, boo, boo. Now that's good if it's really like tonight, but how are you going to score runs? Got the idea? Where's my momentum coming from? It's not, okay? It's not going to happen, but you'll survive. So the idea of what we want to create here at this club, or I want to, and the club is happy for me to get this happening, is efficient movement patterns, mechanical advantage in our swings to create momentum to hit the ball. Now the trick here, not the trick, the key for me was this stuff. The longer we are up here, the later we play. Does that make sense? The longer we go here, the later I swing, the later I hit. But what we're doing as a collective, as cricketers, is going, the ball's halfway to us and we're going. See, I'm loaded up already. And my hands are behind the back and I'm pushing. But up here, I can't push. I'm not saying you have to do this. So kids, you don't have to, boys, you don't have to, do this to play. But, Hussey did it well, and he was a waiter. But he then went there. See, he's got the back kind of turning. And then he's coming out and back in. So he's got momentum that way. Matthew Hayden, big man, he used to be like that. Right, back. Boom, bang. But he hit it late. Okay? Brian Lara, Don Bradman, I watched a bit of footage, there's not much there, he was too old. But he's out here, he's unbelievable. So the WACA a couple of years ago, in their wisdom, have tried to get kids to do that, because that's what Bradman does. I don't think they truly understood why he did it, because he kept creating momentum. Because he kept hitting the golf ball on the rain tank. He had to get momentum, because he was quick. But the momentum comes from, my hands are not pushing. This is the tricky bit. Brian Lara's getting this, and he wants to swap the bottom hand with the top hand. Quick. Make sense? He doesn't want to swing and push. He wants to go quick and tonk it. Up here, and the ball's already bounced off Merv Hughes, these blokes, and he's still waiting. Shit, how did he hit that so quick? He's hitting cover drives. I kid you not, you watch YouTube, here comes the nerdiness about my cricket. I watched this all winter. He's hitting cover drives through the door from that position. Can't do that. He can. Because he's hit it late, not too straight, but bang. So he's got the mechanical advantage because he's waiting 2 metres rather than trying to hit it, commit to it 5 or 6 metres out. Okay? So he's getting a head start up here. The roller coaster at the Royal Show. Good time of month. A good time of the year the Royal Show's on. What's the roller coaster do? It goes up. Then it has a little loop, doesn't it? And then down. Same thing. Goes up, little loop, it's getting momentum. Okay, it drops momentum on the way up, but then it gets a little bit more, and down it goes. It's creating momentum. So what I'm hoping to empower you to do in your off time or your training time, mucking around with your mates, hopefully we all play at the park, at school, we probably do, is muck around with, how can I get more momentum before the ball's bowled so I can play later and hit it here and hit it harder. That's the ideal. Swing less. Here comes something less, a bit more technical, but I call it a swing arc. I don't want my hands to move too much that way. Does that make sense? I don't want to go at the ball if I don't want to be a pusher. So if I go higher and I can get a little arc, I don't have to go to the ball, so I don't have to get moving quicker. I can go later because I can just get a little swing arc. So muck around in the nets or at home and at school, okay? Oh, it feels funny, but it will. And the idea too, from here on in, we work on it at training, and parents, and after you've watched your video, kids and parents, please make an appointment. Come in and see me if you've got questions about all this. Because I don't expect you to just get this like, it's easy, something I've studied for a while, and there's going to be little sort of intricacies that are going to not work and and stuff up techniques. You might think it's going to make them leery or whatever it is, but it's just something we need to start talking about and discussing. Otherwise, we're just going to keep pushing and rotating and committing early, and when the ball swings like it did in England, we're going to be a mob of push hard. Oh, that's a good ball. Next one. Beautiful. But we can combat that. They've done it years ago on uncovered wickets. Work with gravity. What I talked about there, we're working with gravity. What are we doing here? Are we pushing, are we working with gravity there? Gravity's pushing down and we're going through it. It's trying to push us down all the time. But when we're getting late, the later we can go here. As an example, I'm not late here. I'm going in bowl, I'm getting out there. I want to get that ball. But if I go late, because of this up here, the back lift, the back swing is down. Does that make sense? Down, gravity's bringing it down. Okay, we might twist a bit, we counter-rotate, down, rather than push, okay, or rotate. Now the only reason we push and rotate is because we're too early. I've got to wait. I've got to do something to hold me up. Kim Hughes, great batsman, but I remember him used to slash and cover drives when you get down on the back knee. It looked great, but it's because he's a very good player. He was too early at some time. So he had to combat that by getting back. And that's an example. You can still do this stuff and be a very good player. So work with gravity. This is where we get a bit tricky, and I don't expect you to write this down. Probably didn't bring any pens anyway, but these are the questions from your video we've done this year, and we'll do it again at Christmas. Go home and watch it. While we're here, if anyone hasn't got their name on our list to get emails, probably the 13's parents, you want to pass that around to the parents, Jed, that. Put your name down and we'll send you out emails, okay? We're not selling anything. We're just like videos for the YouTube or what we're taping. We'll send you out the links so you can go to it and have a look. And we'll give you a few articles during the year on, mental stuff and just general stuff like that. Ask yourself after you had a look at these videos, or ask you now, Mum and Dad, have a chat. Well, where's the momentum created in my pre-strike phase? Does that make sense? Where are you creating momentum in your back lift and swing? Where's it coming from? Okay? Because we've got to start thinking about this. It's something I never did as a kid. I was just told what to do. So the last thing I want to see from you blokes is what I had to go, not what I had to go through, how I grew up playing cricket. I didn't think myself, I was just told what to do. So if you and Mum and Dad can talk about this, you'll come up with a solution. You'll come up with a better option, a more efficient option. Is the ball met out in front of the body when I'm hitting the ball? Am I hitting the ball out here? Or am I hitting the ball close to my body? Watch it, it's on the video. We have side view, we have front view, we have back view. You'll be able to get every view. I don't have lots of it, but you've probably got 3 to 5 to 6 balls. So you'll all be able to have a look. Mum and Dad can have a look. And they can give you some honest feedback. Is the bat swing line straight to the ball or not? We've all watched Test cricket or one days, probably 2020s. Ever seen the slow frames when they hit the ball and then the bat goes? Remember that? What? They'd still do it. You all seen that? That's when the bat swing line is not straight through the ball. That's when the back swing line comes in a bit of an angle, it slices, or it's more slicing, or cuts across, where it's not hit the middle and it's wobbled. If you can, the video I've got, I try and get it as slow as I can, but my stuff's not that, high tech, and probably yours isn't either. But the idea is get a swing line in our back lift. Doesn't matter if it comes out here. Brian Lara was right out here, but what he did to make his swing to the ball straight was he snapped his elbow back to his body, and he counter-rotated, so he followed through. He came through very straight. So he snapped the elbow back, and he come through straight. So, what radius is the back swing arc? Am I a big pusher, or am I quick? You can watch that on the video. We've got side view. Is the distance from shoulder to hip increasing, decreasing? We talked about that. What is the length of the back swing to the ball? Short or long? Okay, it's worth looking at. It'll surprise you. This is a harder one. How long does it take from when shot, the commitment to shoot, to play the ball is made? Am I playing, I've let the ball go, I picked up the line, am I going? Or am I waiting as long as I can, it's bounced, then I'm going. It will show you on the back view from your video. Is there any opposite movements? Counter rotations. This will, you might probably never ever thought of that, but it's the first thing I look at in your video, every one of you. Does he dip his shoulder in? Does he counter rotate? When I see counter rotation, this is the nerd coming out of me. Oh, I get excited. You start to dip in. Okay? When you don't counter rotate, you get in power, so you become a rotator. Because if I don't, so I'll hit to Frenchie. If I'm not counter rotating in, look, I'm going to rotate out because I want power. Whew. See where I'm front on, aren't I? Where's my back going? Straight or across? But if I'm counter rotating, I can come through straight with power. Am I a counter rotator? Is the back foot staying on its line? Like I said before, the back foot, when we play, should be like that, can go like that, but as soon as we go, as soon as we go back and around, my whole body turns. I play, I'm a rotator. Okay? You can mark a line when you're back, the middle of your foot, or there. Okay? So you can mark a line when you're back, down the middle of your foot, or in the middle that way. It doesn't matter. And after every shot, check it. Have I kept my line, or have I rotated off? It'll surprise you how much you rotate around. Okay? Or don't. How late commitment to play, we've talked about counter rotation. That's about it. So, this is where, it's probably not for you, but for me, I look at baseball swings, tennis serves. Who loves tennis here? Parents? Yep. They don't play tennis, and boys, I'm sure if you play tennis, you try and belt the hell out of every serve, as I used to do. But you can't get it. I'm ready. You're not going to get power out. What do? Swing back. Swing back. And then what do? Do they just go like that? Or do they do a loop? What do you reckon? Loop? So what are they doing? Momentum. Creating momentum. Whoosh. Bang. But it's not coming forward. They're going backwards. What are they doing that for? Momentum, so they can get a big wind up without getting longer, further away from the ball. It takes more load up, more effort, more time. This is just, it's almost cheating. Bang. Oof. And then they work with gravity. Then all the movement patterns for tennis come in board. I don't know how it works. I'm a tennis player. Brian Lara, even hockey players. You watch a hockey player. Oof, bang, counter rotate, smack. And golfers, you've seen all that. If you want to look at good stuff, Bradman, there's a link, I'll send this out to you, hopefully it gets all the video. Bradman's very old stuff, but it's really good. I love it, just watching, old baggy pants and baggy hat, no helmet, but his back lift's out here. Good boy. And he's smacking it, little fella. Greg Chappell, really graceful. You guys probably never even seen Greg Chappell back, but us old fellas used to like watching him. He's just really graceful, but he was back foot driving in that position. Pass mid-off. Bloke called Bob Willis, used to bowl like a chook. But he's back foot driving in there. Now that's not textbook, but he himself, Greg Chappell himself says, your back lift can go everywhere, as long as it comes back when you're about to strike the ball to create momentum. He said that himself. He used to pull and hook these blokes without helmets, not with that, like we kind of brought up to believe, like that. He used to get all the power in the world. It's just go and explore this stuff. Chappell, Brian Lara, there's lots on him. The video's not great either. Matt Hayden, Mike Hussey, all the good Australian players you've watched. Yeah, so I'd suggest you go and have a look at it. It's up to you. If you want to get more efficient, learn from the better ones. That's where, again, I'll send this out, but if you want to, it's probably too big to write down. That's where all your video will be, okay? It's loaded on daily. I took more tonight of the 15s, so yours will be loaded on the next day or two. If you're not, just go to YouTube, my name, David Virgo, and put your name in. It'll come up, okay? There's lots of stuff on there. If any, and this is where, for parents, boys, kids, get in contact with me now if you want to go further with this stuff. Okay, we're going to do that at training. The coaches can only do so much, like Mike, Jez, Werdo. They've only got 2 hands for 14, 15 kids. They can't do everything. They'll send you in the side nets to work on things, this stuff, but they can't sit there watching you. They can't be talking to you all night. No one can actually push you to do this. You've got to hopefully want to do this. And the aim of tonight is to inspire you, empower you to become more efficient. And there's a few reasons why, okay, that I've come up with. Okay, so you can email me, you can ring me. I'm here a lot of the time this year. I'm employed by the seniors as well to be an assistant coach, but I'm not. I'm a development coach, but they've labelled me assistant coach. So I'm here, okay? If we want to hit, I can have a hit you with your side nets after you finish training. Seniors, they can wait, okay? We can have a hit after training if you can. If mum or dad is keen to have you let her sit around for 10, 15 minutes, we can work on things. That's if you can. I'll give you the time, the club will give you the time, Jez, Mike, Werther will give you the time if you've got the effort, okay? That's about it. I know it's a bit, I've smashed you a bit, I didn't want to hold you up too long. Is there any questions? I know I've chucked a lot on you, but anyone got any questions or don't agree? Tell me. It's open and slather. Otherwise, that's it. Anyone hasn't left me their details, you can write down your emails and phones and I can load you onto the database and we'll keep sending you out emails with this stuff. No questions? Well, that's fine and we'll call it a night.
Thanks, Dave.